George Kittle out 3 to 5 weeks. Brock Purdy, week number 2 in question. Brock Bowers, day-to-day with the knee, and a whole bunch more to go over, including the Monday Night Football game between the Bears and the Vikings. We'll be talking about that game, your predictions, and more. But devastating news for those of you that have George Kittle. 3 to 5 weeks, might go on IR. Brock Purdy very much in question with a shoulder and a toe injury. The toe is more severe than the shoulder, according to Shanahan, the Fantasy Football Show. A Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern show. We're a little early tonight because of this breaking news. We'll go straight into the 8 p.m. Show. That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. We got right from the jump, we got a $100 hauler from Gary who says, Smitty, I want immediate attention. Stop the show. Stop the show. This is Gary. Gary says, T-Mac, let's read Gary's question because this deserves immediate attention. He says, T-Mac for Evans, Mark Andrews, yes or no? I'm definitely trading Ted McMillan for Mike Evans. Now, is there some sort of risk that Mike Evans never returns to form? He just happened to drop off right, walking into the season. Yes, but I think, Mike Evans, there's some doubt about Mike Evans last year too, and that was really misplaced. And Mike Evans ended up being a screaming steal. I still think Mike Evans ends up being the second wide receiver on the team. We think Egbuka will be the number 1 finisher on the year, but Mike Evans is still very, very valuable, and I would easily draft him ahead of Ted McMillan in a startup draft right now for weeks 2 through 17. So 100% smash that. Super chats will be answered in order, which are received very soon after we go over this breaking news. So George Kittle, according to several sources, this one here from my sports update says that George Kittle will miss a few weeks, but then we got it on good authority through another update. I think this was the Ian Rappaport report just about, it says 14 seconds, but I screenshotted this about 4 minutes ago. George Kittle is likely out 3 to 5 weeks, but the hamstring, sources say, making him a candidate for injured reserve. So, horrible news for George Kittle, horrible news for George Kittle owners, horrible news for the Niners. And then this, if news couldn't get worse for the Niners, who I've said it's going to be an injury-riddled season. This team is always injured for many reasons, and you could say it's freak injuries and all that. It's not. The team is always injured from top to bottom. And if you think that this is going to be one of those years where they avoid injury, I got a bridge to sell you, because this is nonstop Niner injuries constantly, and that's never going to change unless the regime changes and unless they start stretching. Because as silly as it sounds, it's one component of what they don't do that causes this type of stuff. And we've talked about that with Raj, our RSF 49ers Hal, who has the biggest Instagram and really, I think, Niner page around, period, over I think 300,000 or 400,000 followers. We talk about this all the time. The Niners don't stretch. There's so many reasons for this. The scheme, the type of scheme that it is, how hard Shanahan practices on top of that. There's so many reasons for this. But George Kittle out multiple weeks. But this other report right here, Brock Purdy suffered a left shoulder injury and toe injury in Sunday's win. Coach Shanahan said the toe is worse than the shoulder, and his status will be determined later in the week. Very much in question for week number 2. I'll give you more information when I have it on those two players. But Kittle's the more alarming one, because for fantasy, you're not starting Brock Purdy in any fantasy league unless it's a super flex league. And the Brock Bowers news is definitely something that I know you guys are clamoring for. This news and update from Pete Carroll today. Again, Brock Bowers had the knee injury on Sunday, went to the tent. Everybody freaked out. But Brock ended up saying that the knee's not a concern. It's not a big deal. And that eased everyone's mind. And there was speculation that he tore his ACL. And it's all these Twitter people that they bring their MD into the fantasy space and start trying to play fantasy doctor when they're just playing their real doctor in real life. But they try to play fantasy doctor. And they're always misdiagnosing everything. They're like, according to the mechanism, I saw it with my own eyes. They were predicting ACL tears and all that. Now, there could be something that comes from this. We don't know. But right now, Brock's saying it's not a big deal. It's day to day. Pete Carroll's just kind of giving us a very coy answer. But for right now, from my understanding is that this is not going to be a big deal. Could it be a one-game thing? Potentially, we'll keep an eye on it. But right now, it's trending in the better direction than the worst direction for Brock Bowers. So we have that information. We got Joseph with the super chat, says drop Kincaid or Goddard and grab Fannin Jr. I probably would drop Goddard. Played pretty well. I don't know. I would say, chat, would you rather have Goddard and Fannin or Kincaid and Fannin? I think you do want to grab Fannin. He could be a league winner. Kincaid, I don't get a sense that he's going to be constantly used properly the whole season. I think they do a rotation thing, but drop into the chat what you guys think, and let's help him out. I would say probably Goddard, but Goddard gets injured all the time. But Fannin's a star. Fannin, there's a reason Fannin's been atop of the waiver wire board all off season long. Preemptive waiver wire show 1, preemptive waiver wire show 2, 3. And, of course, walking into week number 2, and we have the waiver wire video already up. We do that as early as anybody. We go live as soon as the Sunday night game ends to do the waiver wire show. So go check out the waiver wire show. But this is the waiver wire board, and Fannin Jr. is absolutely at the top of it. Trade Mason, Warren, and Njoku for Njoku and ETN. Mason and Warren for Njoku and ETN. You might want to wait until this game happens so you can get a feel for what Mason's role is going to be. But at the end of the day, I probably would rather have ETN. So if you had to make this decision now, I probably would take ETN. He looked fantastic. But maybe watch. Niners training strength staff needs to be fired 100%. It's crazy, and people that try and defend it like it's freak injury. Injuries happen. It's football. Like that's a casual response. That's a very lazy take and a very casual response. I got offered my JCM for Tyler Warren, and my tight end right now is Hunter Henry and Loveland. My running backs, it's a very even trade. I'd probably rather have Tyler Warren than JCM, but I love both of them. But Tyler Warren is a top 4 tight end as predicted. Smitty, is this trade approved? AJB and DJ Moore for Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. I don't think you get Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Let me put it this way. I would take Garrett Wilson over AJB and DJ Moore, and I would take Breece Hall over AJB. And maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't give up both for Breece Hall. Maybe I would. But the point is, yes. yeah, famous. And if you think you're pulling that off and that wasn't offered to you, they're going to slam the door in your face probably, because that's a ridiculous trade. Of course, we would rather have that Breece Hall side. Chopped League, what is your strategy for Fab? Honestly, we don't do a lot of the Chopped League stuff here. Fab for me is always full load drop when you can win a league. Now, as far as what your waiver wire looks like in those Chopped leagues, we don't do a lot of the Chopped leagues. I don't have time for those, so I can't really tell you. Full load drop on Jamar Chase, of course. When it seems to be league winning, you go after the player. Now, could other players come available later? Yeah, but you just got to look at your team, bro, and just say Jamar Chase on this squad. I can advance. Without it, I can't. Like, am I going to be able to use my money later if I'm not, in play? So, yeah, if it's a Jamar Chase, you do it. You do it live. Trade Jacoby Myers and Jalen Warren for Hendy and Tillman. What do you think I'm going to say on this, Mason? When Hendy is probably a top 10 running back for me and one of my best buy lows probably walking into this week. Mason, of course you're going to do this trade and smash it. That would be an unbelievable move. We would celebrate your name. We'd pick you up on our shoulders and march you around the show studio if you pull that trade off. 10-man PPR, please help. I got Mahomes, A.J. Brown, and Mike Evans, Gibbs, and Breece Hall, Kittle, CMC, Cup, Monty, Debo. Besides getting a tight end, what trades could you make? Thank you for the $20 hauler as well, my boy. Appreciate you very much. $20 hauler in the building.
Super chat.
About 700 people on YouTube. Please hit that thumb up button. Appreciate you. Got Mahomes, AJ Brown. I'm trading AJ Brown. I'm keeping Gibbs. I'm keeping Hall. I'm still exploring trading Christian McCaffrey. If it's me, I'm going and getting a Hendy and a big name wide receiver. I'm trying to go buy low on Jamar Chase using Christian McCaffrey, Nico Collins, and a running back like Hendy for CMC. Those are the moves I'm trying to make. If you're trying to make a move that doesn't include Christian McCaffrey because you want to keep him, I understand. And what I would tell you is go maybe trade Monty and Evans go maybe trade. I mean, McCaffrey's the easy call here, but A.J. Brown and Monty for a Nico Collins. A.J. Brown and Monty for St. Brown. You know, there are a lot of people that are fickle right now. Go get Hampton in a A.J. Brown straight-up trade. Or if you've got to give up Monty too, go get Hampton and something. Go get Hendy and something. Those would be great trades for that team. Marco, appreciate your super chat. Oh, damn, Marco just dropped a $20 hauler too, and I didn't put that on screen. Hold on. Styles, thank you so much for the super chat. That one's for you. This one's super for you.
Alert.
Silva Brothers in the house. Appreciate you. Marco says, Smitty, Keeper League got offered Achane, round 13 keeper, and Egbuka, round 8 keeper for my Jamar Chase. So you get Achane and Egbuka for Jamar Chase, 9-round keeper. I take that. I take Egbuka. I take Achane. I'm not scared of Achane. I still love Achane. You're protecting yourself with the Egbuka pick in case Achane doesn't work out. Your wide receivers are Nico, Ladd, running backs are Chase Brown and Kamara. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I smashed that trade. Chad, are we in agreement? Egbuka and Achane. Egbuka's got that 8-round keeper value. Chase has got the 9. I love Jamar Chase, bro. I love him, but you're getting 2 pieces here, and it dilutes your risk. If anything were to happen to one of them, you're still in the mix. I do that trade. Chat, please vote if you would do that trade as well. All right. Randy, appreciate you. Trade Jordan Mason, Tyler Warren for Njoku and ETN. I already answered that one, and I would take... Oh, wait, this is a different one. Jordan Mason, Tyler Warren. That's tough for ETN. Did I answer this one already? I feel like I might have, but I thought I was Jalen Warren. Maybe you rewrote it, or maybe I just missed that. If it's Tyler Warren, maybe I did answer that. I don't know. I've seen so many look the same. I love Tyler Warren. I think this is what I said if this is the same question. I love Tyler Warren a little more than ETN, but I think we said watch the game. Yeah, I think that's what we said. I do like Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's a top 5 tight end to me. Truly believe that. So ETN, I think, could be the nice, player of the moment. And I like him, but I'd rather have the more longevity type move. Week 2 start at running back 2, Sharps or RJ Harvey. For now, you're going to go Sharps, but don't be surprised if RJ real quickly becomes relevant and does what Chase Brown did, where we have week 1, week 2, week 3, people give up on Chase Brown last year, and then in week 4, he explodes. Same thing with Jahmyr Gibbs, which took longer. I don't think the RJ Harvey explosion takes too long. RJ Harvey had a 50-yard run on Sunday. Okay. So, phone calls will be had. Short calls only. I will not be answering full team questions. I will hang up on you if you start giving me your full roster, especially if you try and do it in a sly way. It's East Coast Tatty. What's up, East Coast? Congrats on the 35K subs. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you dropping the super chat, my boy. I haven't opened the phone lines yet. Hold on one second. We'll open it just right after the super chats. This $10 hauler here. Do you approve of this trade? I can get either Hampton or Hendy for my Pickens and Pacheco. Absolutely. And I'd probably rather have Hendy over Hampton, but it's very, very close. Hampton might be a tad safer. Love the team. Fits in well. Do it live. Easy peasy. I think Hampton's safer. If you want to go safe, go Hampton. Hendy's got a little more risk, but more upside in my opinion. Which receivers would you trade for using Achane? Nico Collins, a buy low. St. Brown, a buy low. Lam McConkey with something would be a nice move. Appreciate you. Bigsby didn't look good at all. That's why Tootin's someone that you need to keep an eye on. Tootin is very much still on in the grand scheme of things. Okay, let me take these phone calls very rapid fire.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We're going to do, let me see if I can find my no-nonsense phone line. We're going into the no-nonsense phone line mode. Where's my no-nonsense phone line? I think it's right here. Where the hell is it? Where did I put it? Maybe it's right here.
The no-nonsense phone line protocol has been activated. No small talk, greetings, or story build-ups will be tolerated and will result in disconnection.
We have entered no-nonsense phone line. You say, how are you doing? Hey, Smitty, can you hear me? Am I coming through okay? Hey, Smitty, how's the weather? Or, hey, Smitty, here's my full team. You'll get disconnected on. So I'm going to merge this call real quickly. Put yourself on mute and turn down any background noise. I'll be with you in just one moment. Gavin, you are live. No nonsense phone line. What can I do for you? Be speedy.
Okay. Should I trade Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, and Bill for Jamar Chase?
Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, and Bill for Jamar Chase. That is a very, very... Neighbors, Ricky Pearsall, and Bill for Jamar Chase. Jeez. Give me Jamar Chase, bro. Can you put whoever I just added on the phone line, please mute yourself and lower and turn off the background noise. I would probably take Jamar Chase. I love Neighbors, but we have that risk, that level of risk with his toe. He's getting beat up left and right there in New York, and they're deciding to start Russell Wilson for week 2, according to the reports. Daboll's not making the change to Dart. They apparently want to use and abuse Neighbors. And Neighbors eventually has a very high risk of being shut down in weeks 14, 15, 16 for toe surgery because the toe will not get better. This is not something that will get better. This is something that requires surgery. So I would take Jamar Chase, but that is a lot of talent to give up. Bill, Pearsall, is that redraft?
Yes. I have the depth, so.
Yeah, and that's the other question I was going to ask. Is like this sounds like, for anybody saying no, don't do it, this is a 10-man league, right?
A 12-man. My other receiver is Ibuka.
Who are your other receivers? You have Jamar Chase, Ibuka, and who else? Debo. See, what's he going to do? You going to say no to taking this depth? So before you in the chat are like, no, don't do that, Ricky Pearsall. So don't trade Ricky Pearsall. Don't trade Ricky Pearsall. He caught the one catch. What are you talking about? You have to do this, bro, because you've got this surplus of talent. Who are your RBs?
Genty, Gibbs, and Hampton and Harvey.
Okay. Yeah, this is an easy trade. Consolidate and rise up. All right, later, bro. Appreciate you. Got to run. Let's see here. Let me merge this call in here. Everybody mute yourself if you could and turn down any background noise. Sam, you're live.
Pick up Strange, Juwan Johnson, or Fannin Jr. for Ingram.
Strange, Juwan Johnson, Fannin Jr. I mean, bro, I just showed you the board. We just did a whole waiver wire thing. Like this is the thing where I asked Miss Smitty to confirm if the expiration date on the cheese or the sour cream in the fridge is actually, can I still eat this? And she says, what's the expiration date say? Well, it says it's good till December. So, and then I want her to say it. I'm like, so can I still eat the sour cream and cheese in the fridge? Like, I mean, bro, who's number one on the waiver board that we show all day long, every day? Fannin. You know?
Right.
I know you. You what?
I'm just saying, Strange is like a borderline starter, like already, and he's not like a player on waivers usually.
Well, I think what you're going to hear from me is that Fannin is a star. I mean, he was a star in college. He led all wide receivers in college football, bro. All wide receivers in yards and receptions. Everybody. Pat McMillan, Travis Hunter, Jeremiah Smith. Fannin Jr. had more receptions and yards. He was number one in college football in both those categories, and he plays tight end. How in the hell does that happen? So this is a guy we've been screaming about all offseason, and what does he go out and do? 6 receptions, like about 70 yards, like went out and did exactly what we thought he could do. I like Strange. I'm not telling you Strange is bad. I'm just telling you Fannin Jr. is my pick clearly, and I mean, I have on my board, I have Strange and Fannin both there, and Fannin's ranking ahead. So that's all I'm saying is it's on the board. Do it live. But trust your gut. Trust your gut. All right, got to go, bro. Call back if you got another one. All right, let me go over to the caller from New York, 347, I think it is. What's up? You're live.
Yo, what's up, Smitty? What's going on, man? I want to know if I should trade JD5. I mean, should I trade Hampton for a JD5?
Hampton, he said, what's up? I almost hung up on you, bro. This is a no-nonsense phone line. Hampton for who?
JD5.
Who's your quarterback? One QB, I assume, but who's your quarterback?
Yeah, I got like Trevor Lawrence and Drake May.
And who would be your running backs if you made this trade?
Hendy and Bucky Irving.
It's tough, man. I mean, at the end of the day, you're probably drafting JD5 at this moment in time slightly in front of slightly in front of Hampton, just because of the new adjusted value, that the ADP value of Hampton. But at the end of the day, you know, what do I think ends up happening for Hampton? I think he climbs into second round equivalent value. Right now, he's deep in the third round if we were drafting today. Not saying I wouldn't draft him in certain scenarios over JD5. I most certainly could. It just depends on what I'm going for, what I think the board looks like, how far I could kick quarterback downstream a little bit, get Burrow in round 5, whatever. Mahomes in round 8 now. So there's a lot to think about. But your running backs sound pretty solid. JD5 is a league winner. He carries you from week to week. I think I probably lean JD5 slightly right now. And my thing is, too, quarterbacks gain value once the whistle blows and week 1 is underway. Meaning no one respects quarterbacks on draft day. Look at Josh Allen last night. 4 touchdowns, carried you to a win. Early quarterback, the industry's against it. We're for it. We're very much early quarterback connoisseurs, but it does depend on best player available. So honestly, I think JD5 earns and deserves second round value. We just take advantage of the system, bro. The system's broken. The system tells you you have to take a quarterback late or punt the position entirely. Not on this channel. So do I think JD5, once the whistle blows, deserves second round value? Yes, he does. Go try and trade for Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson right now. Tell me what the asking price is. Tell me if you can trade a third round equivalent talent for Josh Allen or Lamar or even JD5 right now. The answer is you can't, except for in your situation, it sounds like you can. So yes, I would go get JD5. It sound like you'll be okay at running back. Travis, you're live.
Hey, so tonight, Burden is playing. Would you drop like Mims or Bigsby for him?
Mims or Bigsby for who? For who? Mason?
Luther Burden.
Oh, Mims or Bigsby. Yeah, I probably would drop either one for Luther Burden right now. Right now.
And Pop Douglas over both of them, or
probably would shoot for upside on Burden. I think Burden's a dog, and I think that, but man, anything can happen. I mean, Mims could bounce back next week. Look, I'm not giving up on the Denver passing attack or anything Denver right now. And everybody's fickle Freddy's, but Bo Nix is a dog. Bo Nix endured a lot of this negativity in college, and then when he transferred over to Oregon, he tore it up. And he put all that behind him, and people were ripping on him. Bo Nix, he's trash. Oh my God, get him out of here. Bo Nix ended up going to Oregon. Everybody changed their tune. He was a dog. So this guy loves adversity. He's scrappy, and he's in the touchdown throw that he threw was a remarkable throw. I have zero concern about Bo Nix. I truly do, and I think Sean Payton's the perfect coach to change it, do whatever he's got to do to get him in the best position to succeed. And I think they run the hell out of the ball, which will be good for both JK and for Harvey. Harvey's time will come. Maybe we sit him in week 2. This could be, like we said, one of these rookie running backs. We said it all offseason. Hampton or Harvey or Hendy. It seems like while we're walking into hype season that all three are going to explode in week 1. But what we said is there probably will be, at least I said it over and over and over, at least one of the Triple H and Associates would have a down week 1, and people would come in here with their panties in a bunch, and they'd be all upset, and they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you told me to draft this guy. Look at how many people want to cut Harvey right now. They want to cut bait. They want to trade him. They're willing to trade him for a cellar dweller player that played well in week 1. Like, stick to your convictions. You know, Harvey is going to rise up. Hendy is going to explode. Ashton Genty will be a top 5 running back. All of these things are probably not going to happen in the order, in the exact time frames we want, but they will rebound. And maybe one of the 5, 6, 7 things we're talking about don't work out. That's the nature of this thing. As I always tell you, my best day, I will be 75% accurate because we're talking about tough calls. I'm not out here trying to tie my shoes. We're out here trying to make big statements, and you're never going to be 100%. And some of you are crushing it right now. I can't tell you how many great comments, and you're the GOAT, Smitty, all this. I can't believe you called this. Ibuka's taking me to the promised land. My league hates me. And then I do get the negative stuff, too. I'm still getting bombarded by, your pick sucked, bro. Because you ended up, John7545 on YouTube, you ended up consolidating and collecting the 5 or 6 calls that didn't work out in week 1. And I can't help that you drafted those 5 guys. I can't. Or some of you draft some of the deeper calls and you collect all of them, and then you have no depth to endure for the first week or 2 or 3 if there's slowness for these rookies. Look, we're a very pro-rookie community. Rookies can tend to get off to a slow start. So if you don't prepare your lineup or your team accordingly, and all you draft is stack all of the rookies, and you have no other support, someone says, I have too many rookies. That's not the problem. You have to have the right rookies, but you also do need support. You can't have your whole team be rookies. You'll never see me say draft all rookies, but will I draft a ton of them? Absolutely. But I'll also have some support.
Yeah. So if you had to drop one of the 3 for Burden, Bigsby, Mims, or Pop Douglas, who would it be?
Bigsby, Mims, or Pop Douglas? Probably
Pop Douglas had 7 targets with a touchdown, but not many yards.
Probably
I like the upside of Mims.
Probably Mims, I suppose. But look, if you are good at RB, then I'm okay cutting bait on. I'm okay cutting bait.
Yeah,
on
I'm pretty good at RB.
So then I'd say that's fine. I think you can't really go wrong there. Monitor him, but he didn't exactly look amazing, and he didn't exactly get an opportunity. But I think it's a little quick to like call him a bust or something. But we also know that situation is literally volatile, and the best part of that situation is the Tootin, value, which goes almost undrafted, and now he's a free agent. So Tootin's one of the better pickups of the week. You go back to this board, and honestly, I feel like Tootin needs to be moved even higher than I have him right here, because I feel like, let me see if I can move Tootin up. Tootin, I think, maybe even deserves to be, I don't want to say above Sampson yet. I love Sampson. Sampson is such a target hog, but you do have Judkins coming back to take some work, and Tootin has the upside to become the lone starter in Liam Cohen's offense. So there's a lot of long-term value in Tootin that people need to understand and hold on to, and not just run away from it. All right. Hey, Travis, hold on one second. Let me get this phone caller, and then I got to answer Super Chats, and I'll be right back for you. So just hang tight for me. Brandon, you're still on the no-nonsense phone line. What can I do for you?
Hey, Smitty, what's up, man? I got Njoku as my tight end, and I want to put a bid in for FanDuel. And my question for you is, what will be your max?
I'll stop you there. I can't answer. Anybody that answers this question, you should unsubscribe and stop watching them. There's zero reason I should be giving you a number. I don't know. Your league's going to be so different than my league. The only thing I can tell you, my confidence level of him being a league winner is pretty good. I would say something in the range of like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I wouldn't say 9 or 10 yet of being a league winner for you. Depends on your situation. But, bro, your league could literally drop $20 out of 100 as a max, or a real conservative group, and mine's going to drop 100 out of 100. So for me to come in and just throw an arbitrary number at you like 20%, 16% of my fab, I don't understand how these people get away with saying this. 16% of your fab. That number means nothing. Your league's so different than my league. My league's different than your league. My 3 leagues I play in with some of the same people overlap is different than the leagues that we all play in another league. There's no way to determine that. You have to look historically at your fab history and see what the highest people are going for, and then drop probably what the highest has been. Maybe $1 or $2, $5 more dollars.
Second question is, who would you drop from my bench to backfill? Higgins or Jerome Ford? Who would you drop in the 2 if I pick him up?
Probably Jerome Ford.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, man. We'll see you later. Yeah, that question I can't stand because there's no way to answer it. So I don't mind asking the question and then probing to find out what is the highest number. And if someone gives me the number, like if you guys are preparing a fab question, the best way to have me attack that is to say, hey, Smitty, I'm in a $500 fab league. The highest anybody's ever gone for is $100. What should I drop on Fannin? Or, hey, the last 3 guys went for 70, 20, and 5. Then I have a real good barometer to give you an answer and guesstimate. Otherwise, I have zero clue. And nobody should ever answer that. And there shouldn't be a show out there that exists where someone says 19%, 22%. What I can tell you is full load droppage is in order on a lot of these scenarios. That I can carry over from league to league and tell you full load drop something. That I can. Any Monday Night Football underdog picks? Yeah, we should, Ethan, be able to drop something here in a minute. Just give me some time to get through these super chats. So I appreciate you, Ethan, for dropping this super right here. Ethan to the moon. This one here from Steele. Appreciate you. I was the guy who claimed Ladd would be top 10 wide receiver last year. I never came back for my flowers. I was the earliest to call it. I was mocked. Well, he wasn't the top 10. He was only a top 12 wide receiver twice. So you're not getting, I don't know what flowers you were wanting to get here today, but we don't have any. We're all stocked up. We're out of stock. I mean,
like Ladd, not a top.
Yeah, look, I'm telling everybody to trade for Ladd right now, but I don't know what you came here for. But I appreciate you. The flowers are all sold out. Costco has a deal. You can get a good 12-pack of roses for, I don't know, it's like $13.99 now. So you can go buy your own flowers. You'll be set. Kyron Williams, you can just say Smitty gave this to me if you want, if that makes you feel better. But yeah, there's no flowers being given over that. But Ladd is good. And bro, you weren't the first one to say it. Everybody liked Ladd McConkey. You know, Ladd McConkey, if you go back to my rookie evals, was ranked really high before his landing spot. But I don't know. Weird choice of celebration and wording there, because he was, what was he in leagues last year? He was, let me pull him up.
Travis Marsman, he finished 13th actually.
13th. So he wasn't top.
He was edging there, but he didn't.
Yeah, you were close. You're close to getting flowers, my boy. You were close to a bouquet. You'll have to go provide your own bouquet on that one. Kyron Williams and DJ Moore for Chase Brown and Calvin Ridley. Yeah, I'd probably take Chase Brown. I just think the offense, I mean, I love Kyron, but I think I'd take Chase Brown. But really close. I mean, hard to say one way or the other, to be honest. Kyron, all he does is score touchdowns. All he does is get doubted too, but Chase Brown scores them too, and they're both pretty identical in terms of upside. I just like the offense a little bit better in his involvement in PPR. Traded away Bill and Ingram for RJ Harvey. Able to keep Harvey on the bench. I don't mind this. I know this is kind of an overpay for people, but I don't mind Bill or Harvey right now, one or the other. I tend to think that Harvey's still just a sleeping giant with the capability of doing things that many running backs can't do. The 6 to 10 value, the 80 receptions, pace that he could be on as soon as he starts getting used properly. Able to keep Harvey on the bench. Genty, Kyron, and Hendy are starters. So yeah, fantastic move. Really good for you to think about the future value of Harvey when you don't need Harvey right now. So that's probably the best way to trade for him. 12-man half PPR, Hurts, Bajan, Brees, McConkey, Buka, bench, Waddle, Rice, Mims, Sharps, Warren. Should I drop Mims for Fannin? That's the question that Travis had. So yeah, I would definitely say that makes sense right now. But I do love Mims still, and I'm very much monitoring him as you walk in to the next week. Start JCM over Stroud in my Superflex. You'd have to tell me, I mean, yes, in a vacuum, but you'd have to tell me if Stroud is still rivaling him in scoring based on the performance last week. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to almost tell me what the scoring looks like, because scoring is going to be different for quarterbacks across different leagues in Superflex. So I would say if JCM outscored him last week in your particular format, then yes. Alberto, appreciate you. I have Brees plus Pollard. What can I trade for? I think that combo could probably get you a Nico Collins or a St. Brown right now because I'm getting constantly bombarded with them. What are we doing with Nico? What are we doing with Nico, Smitty? What are we doing? What are we doing with St. Brown? Are we panicking on Jahmyr Gibbs? The knee-jerk reacting is wild. And for anybody to suggest that you're not going to get that trade when I say go try for Nico, what world do you live in? I live in a world where Panic Peters are all over. Panic Peters are everywhere. I see Worried Williams and Panic Peters when I just turn this way. I see 7 there. I see 5 over here. I can look in the chat and see 14 on one scroll. In my own community with monsters that I call my own children that know how to draft better than other communities, and even my children are absolutely freaking out and panicking. So that is something that I would explore. Past that, I mean, you could go after a 2-for-2 in the Ladd McConkey and somebody front, like you trade Brees and Pollard for Ladd and Hampton, Ladd and Hendy, something like that. Alberto, appreciate your super chat, my man. Drop Blue for Sharbs, Fannin, or Judkins. I'm offended you even asked me this question in terms of whether Sharbs should be grabbed. I love Judkins and Fannin as ads as well. So I'm not saying don't plan to add them like a secondary option. So don't think I'm anybody out there saying I don't want to grab these guys that are on there. Like Judkins should be grabbed. But Charbonnet is a league winner. I've created league winning videos for him for a reason. He's on the Marsman list. I mean, what more can I say? Like, yes, go get Sharbs and go win a championship, young man. Sharbs had, I think, 30 plays, and I think 21 were for Walker, if I remember the correct ratio there. So definitely a smash. Brees talking the power back. Brees taking the power back, you mean? You said talking? Brees is taking more power. Celtics, give him more power. Brees is going to the moon. All the Brees doubters out there. What is he on the Mars man or the Moon man? I think he's on the Mars.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
He's on the Saturn.
The Saturn men.
Yeah.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
I love when I check the boards and I think somebody's on like the Moon or the Mars and they're on the Saturn board. We dropped that in January. There were reasons. Remember we addressed it the other night. There were reasons to understand and at least evaluate why we potentially were feeling some negativity toward the Jets. I remember the other night I brought it up. A couple nights I brought it up in a row. Where it's like, I understand where people are coming from. I even struggled with it for a moment in time myself, where you're just getting bombarded with so much Jet negativity that it affects you a little bit. You start hearing, Fields looks so bad. He doesn't practice well. And it naturally just gives you that doubt, a little bit of doubt. And you got to push through that and trust the process. Breece Hall at his discounted ADP, it's ridiculous to even be concerned about it. New Age Outlaw dropping 20 gifted memberships. New Age Outlaw to the mother freaking moon. If you get a gifted membership from New Age, I want you to stand up and yell meatloaf in your...
I smell meatloaf.
C-Mac, my boy C-Mac in the building, my Niner buddy. I'm sorry to hear about George Kittle being out to 3 to 5 weeks. And I'm sorry to hear about Brock Purdy being very much in question with the toe and shoulder for week number 2. I don't know what to say, C-Mac. I appreciate you dropping the super chat, C-Mac, for the moment. My boy C-Mac. This one here from Tariq, appreciate you. Hey, Smitty, after last week, do I trade Achane? We got 1,100 people on YouTube in the building. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. This is your one-stop shop. Let me get rid of this no-nonsense phone line on the screen. I was thinking of trading Achane for Hampton or for Harvey or possible JCM. I probably wouldn't do that. I think you need to keep the faith in Achane. I would definitely take Hampton in something, but I don't think I'm trading Achane down to a player that also didn't play well. Like you're literally trying to take a bath on the trade, and none of the guys played well, except for Achane played pretty decent. So if you're going to trade Achane for Hampton, I'm fine, but go get Ladd. Go get Hampton and Ladd. Go get Harvey and Hampton. Go get Hendy and a player. Go get Nico Collins using Achane. That's a possibility. Remember go get Debo and a Hendy for this player. That Debo buy low is out the window, right? C-Mac? All the Niner fans that hated Debo. I don't think C-Mac did, but so many Niner fans trashing him. Where are those people at? Where are the Debo haters at now? I don't see a single Debo hater in the chat right now. They've all vanished like cockroaches and went into the shadows. All the Debo doubters, all the Breece Hall doubters, all the Justin Fields haters, they're all gone. I don't see a single one anywhere. So I would shoot higher than this streak. I think you're not thinking big enough for Achane, and you're running away. I can tell what this is. The psychology behind this streak is that you want to break up with Achane before he breaks up with you. And you really got to take this slower. Slow it down. My advice is to try and get the world for him or just hold him. And I am worried about Miami, okay? I am. But they're also, in playing like dog crap, still fed the man. And he's so matchup proof, they're going to throw the ball to him. Trading him because you want to get out of the Miami situation is understandable, and Smitty approved that thinking. You just got to get more. I was mocked at top 10 lad last year when he wasn't. Yeah.
I think Bigsby traded. Looks like.
Bigsby traded?
Find where it looks like might be the Eagles. I'm trying to make sure it's real.
Yeah, Jaguars trading Tank Bigsby to the Eagles per rap sheet right now. Wow.
So Shipley's probably out, and they need a backup.
Tootin' to the moon, baby. Tootin' to the moon. Now, yeah. ETN's still to the moon as well, but Tootin' to the moon because Tootin just got into the pecking order of things. And then on top of that, ETN is not, in my opinion, if I had to guess, is not feeling like, and Bigsby's great. Like if Barkley goes down, Bigsby's now a relevant cuff. We got to go to the cuff board later and figure that out. Right. But Bigsby's certainly a very, very good candidate to, man, I almost want to end this show and go back live on a new stream, but I can't because all the super chats, so I can't leave. But Bigsby, I'll put this right here. Bigsby is definitely somebody to cuff to Barkley. We kind of got the Shipley. Now, Shipley, you said, is out. Is Shipley banged up, are you saying?
Shipley hurt his ribs, so you have to think they're worried about that.
Yeah, that might be a sign that there's going to be an announcement on Shipley going on IR. But, man, tooting to the moon. Let's go back over to the waiver board. I just ended up explaining this a few minutes ago. we were talking about moving Tootin. Tootin might become, Krosky Merritt, if he's available, is still the top pickup of the week. But Tootin could, in like 2 weeks' time, be more valuable than Krosky Merritt is right now. It could be. That's what we have to prepare for. And this is why we've been talking up Tootin all mother freaking off season. By the way, don't drop Ollie Gordon if you guys got Ollie Gordon. I'm so sick and tired of seeing people jump off the Ollie Gordon train after one freaking week where nobody played well. And are you getting rid of Hendy or Harvey? You dropping those guys? I don't think so. So let's stop with the nonsense. If you're going to give somebody else a break, why don't you give him a break? So Tootin becomes maybe the second best waiver wire running back in fantasy football right now, and I'll probably do an update video on the waiver board. Wow. So Tank Bigsby is go ahead.
Holding Bigsby now? Are you holding on to Bigsby now, or
that's situational? Bigsby situationally something I need to address with each situation because it's hard to know what your team looks like. We're still letting the dust settle on why the Eagles made this trade. Did they trade him to be the third player on the roster? No. They traded him to be probably the backup running back. And Shipley's interesting, and even if Shipley does get healthy, they could share the role, but they're also probably, you ought to wonder if maybe there's something underlying with Barkley right now, too, that they're not telling us about. The Eagles are so deceptive with their injury report. Sirianni's the person you trust least with injuries. So part of me wonders if like there's something brewing with Barkley that we don't know about. But Barkley taking on 430 plus carries last year, 482 I think total touches. There's a likelihood he breaks down. And Bigsby, even though Bigsby didn't look good in week 1 on Sunday, he's still a monster. And I like him. And you put him in Philly as a starter, if Barkley were to go down, this guy would explode. He would explode in that. So Bigsby needs to be monitored, but that's case by case. But as far as Tootin goes, Tootin to the mother freaking moon. To the mother freaking moon. And for those of you that have had Tootin and Bigsby all offseason cuffed, you have potentially a world where, you know, you're using those guys independently. But wow, Tootin to the moon. This is the guy drafted by Liam Cohen. Tootin's been drafted, you know, and he's the trusted heir apparent. And while ETN's exploding, remember that this guy, Liam Cohen, uses 2 running backs. So we will see Tootin out there. And the first time Tootin pops a run to the outside and goes 55 yards untouched to the end zone, we all of a sudden have a conversation. And if ETN can't stay healthy, or he breaks down, or they just decide to use him at an equal share rotation, we could see both of them be really, really relevant. So, yeah, ETN should not be downplayed here, but unbelievable.
Especially because we figured one of them was going to get traded, especially because Cohen drafted not just Tootin, but Quint Allen. So it's almost like he drafted this guy.
But we didn't think that he... But we didn't think he could trade to the Eagles.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get through these super chats, or I'm going to get way behind. So hang tight, real quick, Travis. I mocked top 10 Lad last year when he wasn't even top 50. I'll do it again now. Listening, whispering, Quentin Junkins to finish with more fantasy points than Genty this year, placing him in the top 12. Chew on that. All right, Steele. We'll remember you said it. Well, remember when you come looking for flowers later and he doesn't do it, and you're like, Judkins was still good. Where are my flowers? I'll remember you. But Steele, appreciate you dropping the $20 holler. I don't think Judkins stands a chance to outperform Genty. I think that's no offense, but that's a fandom take that you dropped there. Or you own Judkins in 55 leagues and you're just really justifying it. 1,300 of you in the room right now on YouTube, about 300 or 400 on X. If you get over from Twitter over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to 36,000 subscribers by Friday. So we're trying to gain about 1,000 or 2 subscribers every week. And we're climbing fast. So guys, you found your one-stop shop. We go live whenever big news breaks. Travis, let me know when we get like 5 or 10 minutes away from kickoff too. Because I will lose track of that. Trade away Sampson for Harvey in Dynasty? Abso-mother-freaking-lutely. That is probably the easiest question I've been asked all day. I understand the dilemma people feel like they're in with Harvey, but you got to get over that. It's craziness. Traded ETN and Bill for James Cook. Have Josh Allen. Honestly, like, look, Cook looked good last night, and I'm not going to lie. If there's any sort of regret I might have at the end of the year, it could be that James Cook is not on any sort of level of a bust candidate. That would be potentially one of my bad calls. But I still think there's a world where James Cook goes dormant for like 7 straight weeks. He definitely has that. He lives in a volatile offense that he continues to get those short yardage touchdowns as well. And gets touchdowns that other running backs don't even go near. But you got to ask yourself, will that continue? You know, the amount of touchdowns, the easy touchdowns he sometimes can get handed. Not that he can't break off another long run too, but James Cook is not bad to have. I think that there's a world where both sides of this trade works out and they both are dead even. However, I still believe I would trade for James Cook and then try and flip him for a player I just like a little bit better. But I think James Cook is a solid player to have right now. I definitely would trade him. I'm definitely not married to the idea that I need to keep James Cook, and that's just good value. Evans for ETN and Krosky Merritt. You could argue either side of this. Does Evans have a shot at being an elite wide receiver for a whole year, or did he age out? Is week 1 an anomaly? Is he one of the better buy low wide receivers? You'll find out on my buy low wide receiver show. But I do think while I'll ruin it a little bit and say I think he's a good buy low, there is some inherent risk that you got to take on. And ETN looked phenomenal. Is there a chance ETN continues to ball out all year? Yeah, there is. Krosky Merritt, could he become the Chase Brown of this year? Remember Chase Brown when he rose up, when we predicted it. So a lot of us were on board very much when that happened. But even if you were on board, there's a little bit of like worry and doubt where you're like, is this too good to be true? Like, this prediction's going well, but is this too good to be true? Krosky Merritt is teeter-tottering between those worlds. Is it too good to be true? And will it work out, or will it fall flat on his face and be kind of a fun Tank Dell story where it's like there was a time where Tank Dell shined and then Tank Dell fell flat on his face. Now, we'll never know. Poor Tank Dell got injured, and maybe he would have balled and became a star for years and years to come. But, you know, it's hard to know. I do think that ETN and Krosky Merritt is a fair exchange in value, and diluting the risk into 2 players makes some sense in certain scenarios, but I could get behind both sides of this trade. I truly think it's a very dead even trade, and it depends on if you needed wide receivers or needed running backs. So I think it's an even Steven trade, though. And that's not saying that Evans can't bounce back. Trade away Charbs to acquire Ted McMillan. I'd rather have Charbonnet by quite a bit right now. And look, Bryce Young, one of the things I said to people that were too high on Ted McMillan, and not saying Ted McMillan didn't do well. He did well on Sunday, but he didn't explode. He wasn't a Mecca Buka. But the thing that concerned me about everybody's belief, this unwavering belief in Ted McMillan, was that Bryce Young still had something to prove. He was a very fun player to root for. He still is, but he looked pretty bad on Sunday. And I've got my concerns about. There was one play that got broken down where he literally had Sanders wide open in the end zone, and he was looking straight at him, and instead he threw the ball out of bounds. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, you're literally, it was right in front of him. It wasn't something he didn't see. It wasn't off to the side of the peripheral. Like, Young made some bad calls, and so there is some. You're attaching the Ted McMillan success to the cart of Bryce Young. And Bryce Young still has a lot to prove. Carolina looked awful. Dylan Sampson, Trey Benson, I think you could argue either side. I think Dylan Sampson looks a little better right now, but Benson, if Connor went down, would be miles ahead of Sampson. You know, and if Judkins comes back and gets injured, then Sampson would be miles ahead of Trey Benson in a sharing role. So you're kind of trying to predict which one gets more opportunity, and I can't guarantee that. I have no control. The variables at play are not predictable, whereas you could say, like, this guy's older and there's injury risk. Right here, we don't have a lot of predictability. I mean, Connor is older, and there's a likelihood that Benson does become the starter, the sole starter at some point. But the Cardinals have failed to do the right thing at the right time, and just kind of it's hard to say. I'd say Sampson proved a lot, and he's such a PPR monster that even if Judkins comes back, Judkins ain't getting the PPR work from Sampson. Not unless Sampson gets injured. He is a smaller stature player at like 5'8", 200 pounds, but he's so good. He's so shifty. And the team, before Sampson played his week 1 battle, before Judkins was involved in this off-the-field situation, this domestic violence case, the team had said the sky's the limit for Sampson in the PPR game. So the fact that he proved it on the field and was electric, this is a guy, Sampson, that could catch 5-6 balls every game. He could be a PPR running back 3 sleeping giant all year long. So it's a good question.
Smitty, real quick, something just came through. Eagles beat writer says Tank Bigsby trade not related to Will Shipley's rib injury. Eagles like Bigsby as a kickoff return. We don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, that's why I was saying we got to wait on Bigsby. It's situational. The biggest news of the Bigsby trade really comes down to Tootin. You know, Tootin to the moon. Yeah. Tootin to the moon. Tootin is a freaking. Tootin is gonna win leagues, bro. I'm excited about ETN. I really am excited about ETN, and I'm not trying to predict ETN's downfall because I really, really am cheering for him. We've been a big ETN supporting community for years. But I'm telling you, Tootin is just a potential league winner, just ripe and ready.
Would you, if you were me, then would you still drop Mims for Burden, or would you drop Bigsby for now?
Probably Mims. I'd probably keep Tank right now. It's tough, though.
Just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because he's a running back. Running backs are just more valuable. Cut Mason or Ridley for Ollie Gordon. I would definitely want Ollie Gordon, but I don't know if I'm making this move. First of all, wait and see what happens tonight. If Mason drops a dud of a game, then maybe you do. But I think that right now you could cut your kicker and kind of hold that. I wouldn't cut those players right now, but I do want Ollie Gordon. But you do get to decide after this game. So traded JCM and Terry for Puka and Dak. I'd rather Puka and Dak by a lot if Dak is helping me. If Dak's not helping me at all, it's still a very good trade, and I still probably do it. But it's a home run if Dak becomes like a starter. All right, let me hit these super chats real quickly. 10-man team, 10-team, 1 flex. Which is super flex? Sharps and Hunter for London. Give me London. And the word on London today, by the way, I hadn't even got to that yet because this Kittle stuff. But coming from Raheem Morris's mouth, I'm not going to update you on London. We don't have the information until tomorrow. And I don't meet with you tomorrow. So you're basically not going to hear from me. But he just said, I'm not going to address it. I'm just going to tell you that I had a conversation and I feel good, quote unquote, feel good about the conversation I had with London. It sounds like London and Worthy are in similar situations in a way. Worthy is going to wear a flak or a jacket to kind of keep his shoulder from suffering further injury. The only thing we're waiting on, and Worthy will have off-season surgery, so he's going to try and play through it as of now. But surgery's still on the table. They're not certain that Worthy's going to be playing this year. But the according to Schefter, according to all the reports, Worthy is most likely going to be wearing a jacket and will play again this season. Now, the time frame as far as when he comes back will be fully dependent on how much damage there was done to his shoulder, to the labrum, for whatever damage is in the shoulder, the bruising, the swelling. He's got to make sure you can't cause further damage by playing on it. You keep the shoulder in a jacket and it holds the ball in the socket. And if you tear any of the labrum, and here's the socket, here's the ball, there's a labrum seal that makes that ball not come out of the socket. If you tear the labrum, then this thing slides out really easily. So the jacket will keep it all in place, but you can't really play yet unless some healing might need to be required before he goes back out there. So he's got to wait and see. As far as the injury to London, it's more of the AC joint and making sure that he's not in a position where playing on it will cause him to, break where the collarbone attaches to the shoulder. It's got to become a pain tolerance issue, and that's through maybe a week of healing. So it's possible London trends toward maybe playing and then doesn't play and misses 1 week. But that's a really good piece of news because we thought maybe London could be lost for more time. And there's still a chance that London does play right away. So we're kind of dependent on the news right now. We don't have that information. But so back to this trade. The trade question is regarding London. Is the London owner has Walker. Okay, so the Sharps and Hunter for London. I would probably take London, but that could set you back. I don't know if you're going to be 0-1. Might you be 0-2 because you make this trade? I still firmly believe in Hunter. Charbonnet is not the starter as of right now, but he looks like the you could call him the 1B and Walker the 2A in a way, but I wouldn't call Sharps the 1A yet. So if Sharps gets the nod and they literally move in the direction of starting Charbonnet and trading away Walker to the Houston Texans or to the Chicago Bears or something, then all of a sudden that trade is better. That side of the trade is better. So you're unfortunately making this trade without having any guarantee of Charbonnet, and that's why this side, and then Hunter didn't explode, but Hunter looked good. He caught 6 balls. People are complaining. I would say London's probably the better move, but you got to make sure that your team can weather through everything. Yeah, tooting to the moon. Tootin' doing it live. Tootin' will be doing it live. You'll be tootin' live on a television near you. So just hang tight. Don't let Tootin sit out there on waivers. That's for sure. Trade drop Ingram and Golden, or stand down. I mean, that's a very vague question. I don't know. Drop Ingram for what? For Fannin? Maybe not. I don't know. I guess if you could hold Ingram, I would try and hold him and still own Fannin. I don't know if you have a backup tight end anyway that can cover right now. Golden, I'm not going to bench Golden or drop him, but I would certainly consider benching him, but it depends on your options. I imagine Golden, if you dropped him, would be one of the hotter pickups in your league, so I don't think I would cut him. Just because I was not on the Golden train like everybody else doesn't mean he still can't develop into something really solid. And overreacting in week 1, it's hypocritical to say, oh, Ted McMillan didn't explode in week 1, so it told you. I'm not saying that. And Golden, the same thing. Golden could have a great week too. Giving up on him this early and dropping Golden to the waiver wire would be premature. $10 hauler, 10-team, 1 flex. I think I answered this one already. This one from Fonz, 12-team Shark League. Baker, Harvey, Hendy, Jamar, DK, Debo, McBride, bench is Charbonnet, Benson, JCM, hold, start JCM or Harvey. Probably JCM right now, but Harvey still, I completely believe in him. He just might be a Chase Brown week 4, unveiling. But the team's really, really good. I kind of sell DK now with like a JCM to go get a Hampton or a Hendy or a player like St. Brown or Nico. Nico's so cheap right now, I don't even understand it. That I would still explore doing. How many minutes away are we, Travis, from the game?
It's 8:08, so 10 or 12 if it's 8:20.
What network is it on?
So it's an 8:15 start actually, so we're 7 minutes away.
Oh, it's okay. ESPN. It's on ESPN, yeah.
ESPN.
All right, let me put this game on so I don't miss it, because I sometimes the game will start and I don't have it pulled up. Let's see here. Knicks is my QB1. I have Genty, Hampton, Henderson, Sharps, JK, JCM. Someone is offering Love and Pacheco for Judkins for JK and JCM. I'm not worried about, first of all, Love didn't exactly I'm not thinking I'm starting Love over Knicks. I still believe in Knicks. I still do. I'm not going to react on 1 week. Plus, there was things that he did well, like in the game. It's not like you were like, oh my God, he's trash. I definitely wouldn't trade Judkins, but if I was going to, do I take Love and Pacheco for JK and JCM? I probably wouldn't. I don't mind the Judkins offering. So yeah, you would take a Love and Judkins. I don't mind that because Judkins has good trade value, but I believe that JCM has the best of trade value out of all those guys and the most upside for me to want to keep all year. I don't believe it's a paper tiger value. So I'm going to go ahead and say no on that. If I thought you needed Love, sure, but Love is not a quarterback that solves your problems. You're just trading for another player that I believe has got a little bit of questionable value. Here's an example of a good rookie team. 10-team, start 8. QB Josh Allen, running back Hendy, Bill, Gordon, Sharbs, Benson, Neighbors, London, Igbuka, Golden, Bowers. Exactly. Good team. What moves to make? Sit tight. Enjoy the show. Neighbors for like a Nico right now, or Neighbors, and I don't know. I'm not saying I'd even do that straight up. I'd try and get more. Neighbors for, I worry about Neighbors a little bit, my boy. I truly do. I think he's in a horrible situation, and he's just getting beat up. And he looked like Devontae Adams when Jimmy Garoppolo was pissing off Devontae Adams last year, and he's throwing his helmet and saying, "Get me out of here." I felt like Neighbors was losing it. And at some point, this guy's going to be so beat up. Oh man, I don't know. I would probably say I'm looking to maybe utilize the Sharbs value if I can. Sharbs and Neighbors for Lamb. That would be what I'd do. Sharbs and Neighbors for Lamb, or JJ wouldn't even be a bad idea, but let's see what he does here. Maybe you buy low on JJ. Maybe JJ's untouchable after tonight. So that's probably what I'm looking at. Bill's a nice player to move. London and Bill for Lamb, something like that. London and Bill for Nico to get out of the London injury risk, maybe, potentially. All right, Crimps. Today I had a guy in my league offer me Garrett Wilson for Ibuka. Feels like Ibuka's value could be even more right now. Yeah, I'm not trading Ibuka, bro. I love Garrett Wilson, but I'm not trading Ibuka. I think they're both very, very good, though. Need a running back bad. You suggested I move Puka. Puka for Hampton, Burden. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I just would try and get a little bit more. I don't know if I go after Burden. So Hampton and something. Now, Burden's playing right now. You probably can't do that trade anyway. You could do it, but I probably would want more. Puka has such a good game. His value is here, and Hampton's absolutely dog water value right now. So, why would you do it straight up? But I don't mind the concept. But you got to get way more in that trade. Way more. You're talking about Hampton being a borderline 3.1 before, and Puka was a top 12 to 14 overall player, and he had a great game. So how are you trading these two guys when Hampton fell down to the mid third to late third, maybe 4.1 territory? You know what I'm saying? This guy's walking in and going, hey, your Puka went crazy. My Hampton, who is borderline third round 3.1 material, did horrible. Let's trade as if they're equals. And you're just going, yes. You got to get more, bro. You got to get way more. $10. Feeling good about the Fields Wilson stack, as you should. But I could probably flip Wilson and Bill for Nico. I probably would consider that. However, Travis, is there a world where Garrett Wilson outscores Nico Collins and that Houston Texan team is just not going to get there?
I was saying that to someone last night. I was saying, you're still going to rank Nico ahead of Garrett Wilson, but if that Texans offense is going to look like it did last year, then I'm going to take Wilson.
Guys, can we vote in the chat on this one? Is this one of those things where we're just taking the name and we're not considering that the Houston Texans situation, like Miami, is an absolute dog water situation that's going to just hold everybody back, and Nico has a down year because of it? Or Nico's definitely a good buy low, but Garrett Wilson, as we said all offseason, could literally be top 5 in the league, if not number 1 in receptions, because he's going to get force fed. He's the only show in town. And he's going up against Sauce Gardner in practice every single day. So game day's his day off. Garrett Wilson takes the day off on game day because during practices, going full force. And it's like I said, it's like your wife screaming in your ear during mock draft season. And then you go to draft without her with a 90-second timer. And it's like you're on vacation when you're drafting. You have time. You're on your phone. You're reading a book. You're reading one of A.J. Brown's favorite books while you're drafting because you trained with the wife screaming in the ear with a 20-second timer. That's what Garrett Wilson does in practice. He's practicing with Sauce Gardner. He says to Sauce, I want you. And then they go back and forth. So who knows? Garrett Wilson, Smitty, still fading Puka. I'm not fading Puka. I've never faded Puka. I've been smartly trading Puka. And if you notice, Puka injured himself in the first game. He was lucky to come back for sure. But any of the concerns about Puka were proven right in week 1. But I still love Puka. You just heard me tell somebody not to trade Puka in a certain context. So you got it all wrong. I don't think you listened. What were you saying, Travis?
Oh, I was just going to say, and when you figure in JCM is in the deal too, you'd have to be very deep at running back. Just use him as a pizza.
Vamps, Wilson for safety. Yeah, I don't know. Wilson over. I don't know. This is a tough one. I would say if you like the dice roll on Nico, then it's fine to do. But Garrett Wilson looks phenomenal. So probably flip Wilson and Bill for Nico or Neighbors. Nico or Neighbors? Do you like Neighbors more than Garrett Wilson? And I mean, there's risk, but do you like it more? Are you willing to take on the risk?
Yeah, if I'm good at running back, I'd take on that risk probably because I think Dart's going to get in there. And
I guess go Neighbors if you're going to take that gamble over Nico. Nico's
but
horrible.
still, you know, be prepared for Wilson to get 150 targets like we talked about, or maybe even more because there's no one else dominant to throw to.
Penix Jr. or Daniel Jones. Come on, bro. We're not starting Daniel Jones. Come on, no. It's Penix Jr. Go pick up Penix Jr. I mean, you see me talking about Daniel Jones over Penix Jr. on this board? No, you don't. You see Daniel Jones right here. You see Penix Jr. right here. I'm not worried about the matchup. Not to mention everybody gets banged up, and the Niners will be banged up. We got McCarthy under center. McCarthy under center, 1st and 10 from about the 25-yard line. A pitch to Aaron Jones. He gets about, 2 or 3 yards, gets shoved out of bounds. We'll see if Mason gets in here soon. So Penix Jr. is the call. There's not even a hesitation in my mind, my boy. Not even a hesitation. Didn't even consider answering any other way. We got 1,000 in the building still. Guys, make sure you are signed up on Underdog too. That link is pinned in the live chat right now. We'll be drafting probably, I don't know if we'll be drafting tonight, but definitely be drafting this week several times. Play $5, get 50, and the hires are amazing hires, and lowers on Underdog are awesome to play anyway. So please hit that link that's pinned in the live chat. Play 5, get 50, and it's so fun to do the hires. We'll do more of those for the week. McCarthy scrambling to the right, little dump off. It's going to be 3rd and about 2 yards or so. We'll see what play call gets dialed up here. I am 10 points down my week 1, and I have a choice between starting either Aaron Jones. This is unfortunate that we couldn't get to it in time, bro. I'm sorry. It's really hard to plow through these super chats when we're in the final hour, but I'll tell you what I would have done. DJ Moore as your flex or Aaron Jones. I would have probably went DJ Moore. Let's see how that works. But very, very tough call. Who did you go with, Paul? And I appreciate
try to tell people, like, ask your question Saturday night for Sunday and Sunday for Monday, and set the lineup a day ahead so you only have to make the next day.
And I don't mind. I don't mind answering these too. So I understand that, but I feel bad when someone asks the question and I barely get to it before kickoff. But are we going crazy or doing Fannin over Kelsey? No, you can't. I mean, you can get Fannin, but do not drop Kelsey. Kelsey's going to be utilized like crazy. And he looked really good on that touchdown reception. They just didn't dial him up until late in the game. And now they're going to game plan him week. So you can't cut Kelsey. Bench is Ollie, Andy, Sharps, Pickens, Igbuka, Hill. I'm not saying you don't go get Fannin, but you don't, from the looks of this, you can't. Bears returning this ball up to about the 39-yard line. All right, we'll see Caleb walking out onto the field here. Let's see what he does. This will be interesting. I don't see a move from those players to cut, but I definitely am not cutting Kelsey, bro. Let alone benching, like Travis has said. You're not benching Kelsey for Fannin, and I love Fannin. Not yet, at least. Herbert on waivers. Got Nick's full load drop? Probably, bro. I'd say Herbert is a full load drop if you
initiate full load drop.
Like even if it's for trade bait, like that's a great player to get. Now it depends if there's another player that I would want a full load drop for, but no pause required. Got a trade offer Mike Buka and Harvey for his Chase Brown. Caleb scrambling, throws the ball. Was that Swift? Incomplete. Got a trade offer Mike Buka and Harvey for his Chase Brown. That's tough because you're trading Harvey before he has the value. In 2, 4, 5 weeks from now, Harvey could be, Chase Brown himself. So Igbuka and Harvey is a tough sell for Chase Brown, although it's also tough to turn down. Travis, what are you thinking there? And we got 840 still in the building. Please subscribe if you're new. Caleb drops back, scrambling around.
Chase Brown, if you got the receivers to make up for Igbuka.
That was a nice little play to Swift. What did you say, Travis?
I just said I'll take Chase Brown, but you better have the receivers. If you're deep at receiver, take Chase Brown. Otherwise, you might regret trading Igbuka.
Yeah. Chat, what are you thinking on this one? Chat, can you vote, please? Igbuka and Harvey or Chase Brown? What would you rather have? I'm going to lean probably Chase Brown, like Travis said,
Well,
but
he
like,
should have receivers.
you could regret this.
Igbuka should have been drafted as your top 2 receiver
As
in
it
terms
stands,
of ADP.
as it stands now, the value is with the Chase Brown side, but that could certainly change. That's not I don't want you to take this trade and think you're 100% going to win this. We don't know. Right now, it feels like it's safer, especially if you have the wide receiver depth. Bro, I got offered Igbuka and ETN for my Tyreek and Kyron. I mean, I hate trading Kyron. And you're banking on ETN. If you don't have Tootin, this becomes problematic. And as much as I love Buka, I still like Kyron as much, or in some cases more. But I love Buka, and Buka is still growing in value. But that's such a tough call. I would say these are good design plays by Ben Johnson, by the way. Ben Johnson is putting Caleb in a real nice position to succeed with these play calls right now. These are nice, wide open, dialed up plays. Ben Johnson's doing a great job. Detroit very much misses Ben Johnson. Very much misses Ben Johnson.
He'll set the table for Caleb. Caleb's just got to put it together.
Manungai, very, very nice option. He's on the waiver board. Everybody should be making sure they're keeping tabs on Manungai, who actually should be climbing up probably to about, you could almost put him right next to Blue. Manungai's a nice option. They really, really like him. And he's learning a lot. He's still very green, but a lot of upside in Manungai.
Shoot Roshan out.
Yeah, Roshan
banged up.
Opportunity is knocking tonight for Manungai. Let me move that over, and then I'm old Greg says, would you drop Love for Fields? Yes, I would. I would, Greg. I don't know that I would drop Love. I'd try and trade him. It sounds like Love's got some good trade value. So my answer would be, Greg, to what did the chat say here on this? And Travis, what was your ultimate decision? Guys, vote on this one here. Igbuka and ETN or Reek and Kyron.
I'm with you. If you don't have Tootin, I have trouble doing it. Again, context matters. The team context matters. I don't know who he has at running back.
I probably just want to say, like,
I think we're going to get a lot of Buka and ETN probably.
I gave my opinion on both sides, but I haven't really settled on it yet. I think if it's me, if I thought I could trade Reek for, let's call it, it could be Mike Evans down low or something. Like, then I think I love the Kyron side if I think I could flip Reek. Reek was a 2-3 turn player, but right now I don't know what his value is. People might not even have him in the top 4 rounds.
Just a quick note on ETN. He was one of 3 running backs that hit over 20 miles per hour running yesterday. He didn't hit 20 miles per hour once all of last year. So at least for now, he's healthy, feeling better.
I'm gonna say I'd rather have ETN and Igbuka right now, but hopefully you can get Tootin, bro, off waivers or trade for him. Would you drop Love for Fields? The answer is yes on that one. And then the final super chat from Rockout. Rockout, appreciate you, my boy. Rockout says, if I move off Evans, what receivers that have had bad weeks would you go after? Maybe a guy like McLaurin. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. McLaurin for Evans, that would be a good one. 3rd and 5, incomplete. They're trying to review this play. He might have got it in. Oh, they gave him a first down. Okay. Yeah, these play designs are nice. Ben Johnson's dial it up. They're all wide open designs. These are really, really good.
Nice play by Dunze.
Yeah, nice catch, Dunze. Doing work. Nice job.
Well,
I like it.
Even if you play in the structure, it can be okay.
Yeah.
That's by 1,000. Stay in structure and
St. Brown, I'd say BTJ for sure, Collins for sure, McLaurin for sure. All these guys you listed are the guys I would throw out. We might have to give up something to get some of them, but I don't think you're trading ETN for BTJ, but certainly try. Certainly try. Thank you, Rock Out. Let us know what you decide or what offers you cook up. With Tank being traded, ETN should have 100% of the role, right? No, Chief. He'll have what he had on Sunday. I mean, that's a lot of the role. But Liam Cohen does roll with 2 RBs, and you're going to see Tootin start to get injected into the game plan, and then it's going to be the hot hand approach eventually. But ETN is certainly in a position to maintain, and them trading away Bigsby is a good sign because it was a 3-headed backfield. Now it's 2, so that's even better for ETN's odds, but it's also better for Tootin, and Tootin was the player that Liam Cohen drafted. Caleb under center. Handoff to Swift. He's swarmed. It'll be third and about 3. 10-team Superflex. Allen Fields, T-Law, Kyron, Hendy, Harvey, Benson, Tank, AJB, Devontae Smith, Nico, Rice, Loveland. Any moves? Lost week 1. Bench outscored the starters. That's brutal, Ian. Hendy and Kyron I love. Fields I'm fine with. Harvey you're waiting on. AJB, Devontae Smith, Nico, you just got hit hard with the wide receivers. I think your receivers are good though, but I'd be putting Debo in your lineup, of course. You're waiting on Rice. You're pretty damn set. You know, AJB, Devontae Smith. Caleb Williams, rushing touchdown. Nice. That was a nice run. Bears scoring. Ben Johnson's got him humming. Don't get carried away in the chat. You think I'm going to become a Caleb Williams fan. I'm not. But that was a good drive. That was a really good drive. I will say the Vikings D giving up a lot of gimme plays on that. I don't know why, what they're doing, what they're thinking out there, but that was some bad defense too. But that was that was Ben Johnson knowing how to exploit a defense too. Ben is a really good design artist.
Yeah, we can put that to rest with the Lions fans. They're going to miss Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I'm not painting my nails anytime soon. But don't think that 10-team Superflex, Allen Fields, T-Law. I like this team. I'm trying to move Devontae Smith and AJB for like one player, and I'm certainly capable of waiting on Benson a little bit, but I don't know. AJB's hard to trade right now. You might have to have him bounce back, and he's injured right now. So like Keon and AJB for, maybe you're trading AJB for one of those players that Rock Out just listed. You're trying to get McLaurin or something like that. AJB for McLaurin, AJB for I don't know. I'd almost be okay because your receivers are so good, and Nico, Rice, and Debo, that you could maybe even go after a running back like Hampton using AJB and then just flip that for a wide receiver later if you needed to. But sometimes the natural instinct is to go after a different position, but you got to take what you can get sometimes. Trade Olave for Judkins and Tootin. I definitely would. Olave went to the tent twice on Sunday, and he's not staying healthy. All right, Travis, I'm going to go. Anything else?
Yeah, just one quick trade question. Let me pull it up here. Melvin was actually asking it. In a redraft league, he would be trading JCM, Harvey, and Neighbors to get Derrick Henry and Devontae Smith.
JCM.
He gives up Neighbors.
JCM, Harvey, and Neighbors?
JCM, yeah. Much, right?
For what?
Henry and Devontae Smith. And it makes Judy his wide receiver 1 until Rice comes back.
I mean, right now Henry's more valuable than Neighbors, and
I know.
JCM and Harvey right now don't have the value. They will. Harvey probably will. But I'd probably say
he'd be getting the Harvey. He'd be getting the Henry side.
I'd probably say the Henry side for now, and then I try and flip Smith and somebody to get Mike Evans, and then all of a sudden you got Mike Evans and a Henry for that. But that's tough. That's tough.
He's got, it would leave him with Jerry Jeudy and Devonta Smith as his 2 wide receivers, and Rashee Rice coming back eventually. The 14-team league.
Yeah.
So basically, if he can survive, the Rice gets back, you do it then because of just the way Henry looks.
All right, Travis. We'll see you after the show for the wrap up. Later, bro.
Thanks, Smitty. Bye.
AJB for a tight end upgrade. It depends. I mean, I'd certainly consider it, but am I going after like a Tyler Warren? Then sure, but it's got to be something significant. Otherwise, you're selling AJB as if he's worth nothing. Whenever Smitty reacts to players, Giovanni, let's read your hate message of the day. Smitty reacts to players, you guys praise him. Whenever people praise players, you guys say they're overreacting. Make up your mind. Or maybe you're just trying to look for stuff that's not there. AJB will bounce back. Well, he looked like he was a decoy, my boy. Justin Jefferson, nice little catch and run. I like that. Keep using the boy. AJB will bounce back. He looked like he was a decoy. He looked like he was hurting, bro. The more you rewatch the film, he's literally just a complete decoy out there. You keep acting like one drive is changing my opinion or needs to. AM or whatever your name is, 54. You probably should wait a little bit before you start taking a victory lap on Caleb Williams after one drive against the Minnesota Vikings defense right now. Just hang tight, my boy. Hang tight. And not to mention, is there a world where Ben Johnson gets top 8 to 12 fantasy football quarterback numbers out of Caleb? Sure. And then if Ben Johnson were, let's say, removed from the equation, that all of a sudden he would turn back into what Jared Goff's turning back into. Like, keep in mind, there is a world where he does play well under Ben Johnson. Does he play like he should be deserving of the number 1 overall pick? You're never going to change my mind that he should have went number 1 overall. Biggest mistake the Bears made. And look at the mistake the Bears made with Fields. Fields is unbelievable. They never developed Fields properly. Oh my God, what is McCarthy doing? He's doing somersaults out there. Jeez. Oh, man. Edward, appreciate you. Let me get these 2 super chats here, and then I'm jumping, and I'll be back for the wrap-up show. Edward, thank you. Pete, appreciate you. Half PPR got offered his Brees for my Garrett Wilson straight up. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson by a hair, but they're both unbelievable. They're both players that we touted and talked up and still want to have. Vikings punting. 12-man PPR with 2 flex, Bo Nix, Gibbs, and Chase Brown, Hendy, Jalen Warren, Ollie, Gordon, AJB, Rome, and Travis Hunter, Rashee Rice. Would I elite to trade Goddard, Shakir, Warren for, I don't know what that means, but for something, thoughts? No one's going to take Warren, Goddard, and Shakir. I hate to tell you. Like, I can't even cook up an idea for that. Like, if I sent that to somebody would say, what are you doing? Sending me a heap of whatever. There's no value. There's no trade value in Goddard, Shakir, and Warren. Maybe a little bit in Warren. I would say you need to do something more complex, like AJB and Warren. Now, all of a sudden, Warren looks a little more attractive sitting next to AJB. So if you're to trade AJB and Warren for, like, try shooting for Nico. Can't get Nico? No problem. I understand. Injured London? Maybe it's worth the gamble to go that direction. Wide receivers are probably what you need. So you just keep going in that direction and try and take stabs at upgrading AJB. AJB for Mike Evans straight up. I consider that. Jalen Warren for Harvey. And you throw in something like... I don't think, Goddard and Warren will get you Harvey, but try trading for Tootin. Trade that for Tootin. Make sure Tootin's not on waivers. Young, appreciate you. Young says drop Ollie or Tootin for Fannin. I'm not dropping either Ollie or Tootin, bro. I've said that over and over and over. We're not dropping Ollie Gordon. We're not dropping Tootin. Tootin just got a raise today. What are we doing? We like Fannin. I'm not saying not to go get Fannin, but you can't drop those two running backs. Running backs are league-winning assets and good trade pieces, and both Ollie's got tons of upside. Ollie doesn't go from a guy I draft everywhere to a guy that we just cut because of one game where there just wasn't opportunity. There was an opportunity. I mean, what did Achane get? Like 6 or 7 carries? Like, no one got opportunity. Not saying that things change. Maybe they don't. All right, we'll be back for a wrap-up show. Appreciate you all. See you later. We're live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. We're also additionally live whenever big news breaks. And then we're live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. So live at 8 p.m. Eastern, live at midnight Eastern, and live whenever big news breaks. See you all very, very soon. Right after this game, we'll come back for the wrap-up show. Yeah, McCarthy, super disappointing so far. Really got to wonder if he's going to cap JJ. Hopefully he bounces back in this next drive. Love you, Smitty, but if you're going to dog my dynasty players, I'm going to push back. You're pushed back. I don't even feel your pushback. You're not even pushing back, bro. You're getting a little overly excited in the chat. That's all you're doing. Running in a circle, chasing your tail. See you all. Deuce.